Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei and other Peerage member was betrayed by Rias and built his own Peerage movie. Before we start, please go support Natsu201855 for writing that awesome fanfic. Chapter 1, Issei Gets Betrayed. I was in class right now looking outside the window. I was thinking what Rias wants with me. It was important, but IRL what it was, but I decided to sleep during class. When the bell ringed I left and went to the orc, and I learned the truth that Rias let Rainer killed me. I was heartbroken. Even Asia Gasper and Kiba was with Rias, and Kiba kisses Rias and played with her boobs right in front of me. I can't believe you are a bore, Rias. I can't believe it, Rias, you betrayed Issei, said Xenovia, angry. Yeah, I'm no longer your queen, Rias, said Akeno, angry. Same goes for me, you are a horrible person, said Rosweisss, angry. Same here, Koneko said, mad. Me too, Irina said, upset. Thank you, Koneko, Akeno, Irina, Rosweisss, and Xenovia, thank you so much, thought Issei happily. After that we all left, and we went to my home and packed everything and left to a different place called Sunrise and bought a house there. I can't believe it, Rias is a hitch, said Xenovia, irritated. Yeah, we just need to calm down, said Rosweisss. Rosweisss is right, we all need to calm down, said Akeno. Guys, I need to tell you something, said Issei. What is it, said Irina. I thank you guys for sticking up for me, thank you, said Issei, happy. NP Issei-kun, we are all here for you, Issei, said Akeno. Issei had tears after hearing that. I love you all so much, I really do love you all, said Issei. After that they all blushed and went to their rooms. I slept all night happily. When I woke up I was between all the girls. I blushed while looking at them naked. I seen Akeno on top of me and I felt her boob-by. Blushes heavy, and I seen Xenovia cuddling my right arm and see Irina hugging my left arm and seen Koneko between my legs, and I seen Rosweisss bellow me. After that I got up without waking up the girls. When the girls woke up they needed to talk with me. So what are we going to do about the chest paces? Said Akeno. I got an idea, said Rosweisss. What is the idea, said Irina. Well, Issei can become a king and he can take off your evil paces by putting his evil paces in yours, and Rias' paces disappears, but we need to go to the underworld to get them. We can talk with Azazel and he will take us there, said Rosweisss. Okay, so who will come with Issei, said Akeno. I will, said Xenovia. Okay, me and Issei and Xenovia will go, said Rosweisss. After everyone discussed, me and Rosweisss and Xenovia went to the underworld with Azazel. We talked with the creator of the evil paces. His name was Lin. Don't know the name, just go with it. When Lin told us how he created the evil paces, he was the one that made them, but now we were supposed to fight to be a king. So Issei, you will be fighting a strong person to pass this test. We will be watching you in the room, cause you will be in an arena. Your enemy will be Grey Hen's men, that's your opponent. No, come and let's go to your match, said Lin while walking into the arena. After that they told me to go into the middle of the arena to fight with Grey. In the arena, the fight was about to start. Nice to meet you, Issei Haida, said Grey with a smirk. Nice to meet you too. Lin starts a fighting pose. Fight POV. When the announcer said start, Grey started to run towards me and punched me in the gut. I spit out blood, but then I stand the ground and punched Grey really here in the face and knocked him to the ground. I heard him getting mad. He started to use his sword on me. I dodged all of his attacks. I didn't need to fight him with balance breaker cause this was an easy fight for me. I knocked him out with Rosweisss and Xenovia. Wow, Issei is strong, said Xenovia happily. That Issei is strong enough to take care of us. Yep, that's our Issei, said Rosweisss, but in the inside she was scared. She never told her feelings to Issei. Even Issei haven't even told me his feelings. I'm so scared that he doesn't want me to be with him. I really love him. He's such a caring guy and a cutie. Is everything okay, said Xenovia said worriedly. I'm fine. We need to congratulate Issei for winning and becoming a king, said Rosweisss, taking the thoughts out. After that Xenovia and Rosweisss left to the office where Issei is at, and he will be getting his 15 paces for a king. When we got there, Issei got his paces and we was talking how is this going to work, and where are we gonna eat more people in Issei's Peerage. By Issei told us that he had stuff in mind. Me and Xenovia was thinking that there was something off with Issei. Xenovia, I need to talk to you, said Rosweisss. Sure, said Xenovia. Time skip. Near the office. Xenovia, there's something off with Issei, said Rosweisss worriedly. Yeah, same here, but what is it, said Xenovia with concern. We will find out after we walk back into the train and see what's up with him, said Rosweisss. Okay, said Xenovia. Chapter 2, Finding Issei's Secret and His New Peerage. After Issei was talking with Lin, we went back and packed our stuff. Me and Xenovia was suspicious of Issei cause we knew he was hiding something that we don't know, but I know it's not about us, it's about his power cause he feels more stronger, thought Rosweisss. At the train, me and Xenovia sat across from Issei. We was still looking at him, but then I started to talk. Issei, are you hiding something from us, said Rosweisss concerned. What you mean, Rosweisss, said Issei getting nervous. How did they found out that I had a secret, thought Issei. Are you going to tell us, Issei, said Xenovia. Fine, I will. I'm way stronger than before. I have a new form of armor, and also I turned myself into a dragon slayer, said Issei seriously. What's a dragon slayer, said Rosweisss. I made myself a full dragon cause of my new heart. I asked Drake to make me a dragon, so he told me I can become stronger with the dragon heart and organs and more, so I accept that power, and he transformed my organs heart into dragon parts, so I'm a dragon slayer, said Issei. But what are the downside of being a dragon slayer, said Xenovia. Well, god slayers are my downside. I mean, they are powerful, they are enemies of the dragon slayers, said Issei seriously. Issei, are they powerful, and why have we not seen them before, said Rosweisss, said concerned mostly for Issei. Well, they've been hiding in places that devils or angels or fallen angels, the dragons and gods can't find them, and also yes, they are powerful, said Issei. Issei, how does this affect you? I mean, like, we are worried for you. Issei bit, how strong are you? Can you tell us, said Xenovia with more concern. Okay, well, I'm way strong, at least stronger than a Mao, but I need to train more, but yeah, it's no worry, guys. They are not going to be coming out for me yet, said Issei with a huge smile that's making Xenovia and Rosweisss blush. So after the talk we went back to our house and we explained everyone that Issei was very powerful and he is a dragon slayer, but Irina and Akeno was shocked and Koneko kept a straight face with the news. All POV. Issei, why did you hide this stuff from us, said Irina. You tell us, Issei, said Akeno. Well, I didn't want you guys to be in danger. I'm sorry, Thag, I was keeping a secret, but I promise all of you that I will not let anyone touch you cause I love all of you guys with my heart, said Issei looking down. All of the girls, said Issei, started to blush a lot. It's okay, Issei, you were just protecting us. We all love you a lot, said Akeno with a blush and smile, and the other girls nod in return. Issei just smiled at them. So how about the peerage, Issei, how did it go, said Akeno. It went well. Me and Rosweisss and Xenovia went to talk with Azazel and I had to fight some guy named Gray, and he was weak. I thought he would be a good fighter, but it's fine as long as I get my paces, said Issei. Well, when are you going to reinstruct us so we can be in your peerage already, said Xenovia impatient. Well, right, let's get started, said Issei. So Akeno will be my bishop, said Issei while grabbing his bishop price and started to put her as my servant. Akeno Hemijima, you will be my bishop and you will serve me well, said Issei while the bishop pace went in her while the queen pace got out of her chest and disappeared. You're now my bishop now, Akeno, Issei said, smirking at Akeno while Akeno was happy and smiling at Issei because that she is now in his peerage and he is her master. Who's next, said Xenovia. You are, and you will be my knight, Xenovia, said Issei, and he grabbed his knight price and started to use the chant, and after the chant the knight price from Rias is gone. Now Xenovia is Issei knight. Issei smiled at Xenovia while she smiled back. Then it was Irina. I put her as my other knight, so I chant, and then she became a part of my peerage. Next was Rosweisss. She will be my room. I use the chant on her. She is my first room. And last is Koneko. She will be my other rook. I used the same chant, and she was now my rook. I smiled at everyone. We were all smiling. We was happy. I was happy that I have my own peerage with the people I love with my heart. So what we going to do next? We need to start getting more precise, said Akeno. Well, we will get more people, but for right now we need to train and get stronger for our own and protect each other, said Issei stern. So when are we going to start our training, said Koneko. Soon, said Issei. What you mean soon? Said Rosweisss curiously. What I mean is that we need rest, and I need to think by myself on what are we going to do since we are on our own cause the three factions are against us, even the Chaos Brigade and the Hero faction. I think we need to start our own factions, said Issei seriously. What? Said the girls. What? Said Issei confused. What do you mean what? It's dangerous, we can't trust anyone, said Rosweisss. Rosweisss is right, said Xenovia. Well, what I mean is we need to get stronger cause we know that Xenovia and Michael and Azazel will come for us, said Issei. I thought Azazel was with us, said Akeno. Well, no, he is not, he just made a deal with me, said Issei. What do you mean deal? What did you deal with him, said Irina. Well, it wasn't serious, it's just a simple question of what I was going to do, but from now on me and Azazel and the rest of the factions is our enemies, said Issei. Okay, that's explained, so we should get rest, right, Issei, said Akeno, going up to him while unbuttoning one button on her shirt, and started to come close to Issei. So Issei, let's go to bed, said Akeno. After what Akeno said, Issei ended up sleeping with all of the girls again. Chapter 3, Finding the Rest of the Peerage. I woke up in the morning and got up, dressed myself with red shirt and leather jacket and black pants. I went downstairs, made myself breakfast, and started to eat. It was like 5:30 a.m., so they shouldn't be awake. I went up to my private room only for me to be, and I have a bunch of plans for my new faction that I'm currently making plans for recruitment to get this faction started, but today I'm going to get the rest of my peerage. I already have something in mind. First I'm going to go get Ravel and then revive Rainier. I started to frown, but I know that it wasn't her fault, she was orders by Kokobile, so I'm going to revive her as my bishop. Well, my third bishop. Now the next person will be Kuroka. I want her on my team for a reason. I already have feelings for her, and I know the truth why she killed her master, so I'm going to make her get into the right path, and I will bring the two Nikos together. I promise, Kuroka, you will see Koneko again. I promise. I do have feelings for Kuroka. I do know the next person will be my pawn, will be Jean Arc. I will reincarnated her into my pawn. I will have to pay a visit to the hero faction with Akeno. I woke up. I see that Issei was not in bed. It was currently 6 a.m. in the morning. I wonder what was Issei doing. Yo, he usually wakes up at 8. Who am I? Went up and got ready. I put this on. I decided to wear my shine clothes with red and white shirt and a red skirt. I love this shirt. I smiled and grabbed my boobs. Issei loves my boobs. I know it. Akeno smiled. I went down and see that Issei was right there in the living room couch. I went up to him. Hey Issei, said Akeno while leaning against Issei and give him a view of Akeno's boobs. Hey Akeno, said Issei, blushing while sitting in the couch looking at Akeno's boobs. You can touch them if you want, Issei Yufufa, said Akeno, blushing. You sure, Akeno, said Issei, blushing. Yes, let's go to a room, Issei, said Akeno, grabbing Issei's arm, and went to Akeno's room. What are we going to do, said Issei with a nervous face because he didn't want the other girls finding out and start a fight. Akeno put Issei's hands on her boobs and Akeno moaned. Issei decided to play with them, so Issei started to message Akeno's boobs. Akeno moans while Issei took off her clothes and unhooked her bra and played with her boobs and pinching Akeno's nipples. Akeno moaned a lot. And then Akeno kisses Issei while Issei kisses her back and let his tongue in her mouth while sucking her tongue. They both moaned, but then they heard the girls in the room with angry looks at Akeno. Uff, why you guys mad me? And Issei was about to do it, said Akeno, while Issei blushed when he heard Akeno. Koneko, Irina, Rosweisss, and Xenovia and Akeno were fighting. Issei's POV. 20 minutes later in the living room. So Issei, what you wanna do today? Said Irina. Well, I'm going to get more people in my peerage, said Issei. But who are you going to reincarnate? Said Koneko. Well, said Issei looking at Koneko nervously. What is it? Said Akeno. Well, I'm going to reincarnate Kuroka, said Issei with a frown. Koneko just stood there. Why do you want her as your queen? Issei said, Koneko upset. Because I know the truth, said Issei looking at Koneko seriously. What's the truth? Issei said, Koneko getting more upset. Is that Kuroka killed her master and become a stray devil because she saved you? She wouldn't ever betrayed you, but she had to because of her master was going to do test on you. Kuroka wouldn't even let him close to you. That's why, Issei said in a cold, dark voice. Koneko was shocked to hear this. She was crying and have tears coming out of her eyes. Kuroka saved me, said Koneko, hugging Issei. Thank you for telling me. I'm not mad at her. I know she was protecting me since you told me. Thank you, said Koneko, happy, hugging Issei. Then she kissed Issei in the lip, and Issei gratefully returned the kiss with more passion. The girls was looking at them in awe, but then Issei stopped the kiss. What's wrong, said Koneko, looking at Issei. Well, I have to go to find the rest of my peerage. I will go by myself, said Issei. No, I will go with you, said Akeno and Irina in unison. No, I don't want you in danger, said Issei, looking at them. Well, we were strong, Issei. We will go with you just to make sure that you're safe, said Irina, looking at Issei with a smile. Fine, come on, said Issei. Skip. At the Phoenix Palace. Halt, who are you and why are you here, said one of the guards. Well, I'm here to see Lady Phoenix, said Issei. Well, she is busy, sorry, and you are not allowed to. Let them in, said Lady Phoenix. Yes, ma'am, said the guard, letting Issei, Akeno, and Irina in. So what are you guys doing here? I heard that you guys left Rias Peerage, and now are enemies with the 3 factions, said Lady Phoenix. Well, long story short, she betrayed me, Akeno. Koneko, Irina, Rosweisss, and Xenovia, said Issei. I know why you are here, said Lady Phoenix. Issei was shocked, but then she always wanted Revel to be in my peerage. So Issei, what are you going to do, said Lady Phoenix. Well, I'm going to make my own faction, said Issei. Wow, Issei, that's a huge thing, said Lady Phoenix, amused. Akeno and Irina was waking with them and hearing their conversation while going to their destination. Well, we are here, said Lady Phoenix. Revel, come out, please, said Lady Phoenix. Yes, Mom, said Revel. When Revel comes and she sails Issei, she went and hugged him tight. Issei, I thought you were gone, said Revel. Well, I'm not, I'm right here, said Issei, hugging Revel tight. So what are you doing here, Revel said. Well, I'm here to put you into my peerage, said Issei. Revel was happy to hear that after a while taking with Akeno and Irina and Issei, she got into Issei's peerage and becomes his bishop. So now Revel was moving in with Issei. Issei told me to go to his place and pack. He said that the girls will help her fixing her stuff and get her room situated. Time skip. At the Vala mansion. This is going to be a long day, thought Issei. Yup, it is, said Drake. Why haven't you talked to me? It's been a while since I haven't talked with you, said Issei. Well, I was asleep, said Drake. You lazy overgrown dragon, said Issei, angry. You're the lazy one, said Drake, and got cut off by Issei. Me and Akeno and Irina walked into the mansion. Suddenly we got attacked. I blocked the ninjutsu sphere from Kuroka. What are you doing here, said Vala with a stern face. Well, I'm here for Kuroka, said Issei. Uff, what do you want with me, Naya, said Kuroka, making Issei blushes that made Kuroka to smirk. Well, you see, I'm here to make you my queen, said Issei. The Vala team sweat drained at this. You want me to join, Naya, said Kuroka, teasing Issei. Yes, said Issei with a nervous smile. What are you going to give me if I join your peerage, Naya, said Kuroka. Well, you can have your sister back, said Issei with a smile. Really, I thought she hated me, said Kuroka, surprised. Well, I told her the truth and she was happy that you protected her and didn't betray her, said Issei with a smile. Kuroka then hugged Issei and said, You will also give me 3 kittens. Issei blushes a lot and the Kali team laughed. Kali, can I be in Issei's peerage, said Kuroka. Yes, I will slow you two, but we will be enemies, remember that, Kuroka said, a smirking Vala. Issei did the chant, and then Kuroka was Issei's queen. Now we diocese to go back with their new paces. I'm Issei's peerage. They settled in and talked about all kinda of thing. They were all happy. Issei then got up and said, Announcement, said Issei. What is it, Naya, said Kuroka while sitting on the couch next to Koneko. Well, we start training tomorrow and I will be training by myself cause I have new powers and a sacred gear, said Issei. The girls were shocked but then smiled since Issei didn't keep that a secret from them. Since the last time he hid his secret, the girls decided to get some rest before their training. Chapter 4, Training. Today was training for my peerage. We are going down to the Phoenix place. And we will be staying there for a month cause we are going to get stronger. I have a job to do, so I will make sure to find great teachers for my peerage. I was walking down the hallway packing stuff while the rest of my group was getting ready. I met up with Kuroka in her room. Hey Issei, Naya, said Kuroka with a loving smile. Hey Kuroka, said Issei, went up to her and kisses her in the lips they pulled. out of the kiss to get air. When we stopped kissing, I told Kuroka something that made her smile in joy. She hugged me tight, and I hugged her back. I let go of her after a while, then I told Kuroka that we have to pack for the training. After the group was done packing, we went to the train to go to the underworld to train. Time skip. At the Phoenix Place. We got out of the train with our luggage and went inside the Phoenix Palace and unpacked our stuff in my room. The girls decided to move into my room, so we shared the bed and shared the room with our luggage and stuff put away. Then we went to the living room with Lady Phoenix for a meeting. At the living room. Okay, the reason why I have you guys here is because of training. Today we are going to start training, so what I want for you guys is to become stronger. So first up, Koneko, I want you and Kuroka to train your powers and learn ninjutsu, and Rosweisss, I hired a teacher to show you how to fight and learn more magic. Her name is Frost, and then Akeno, you will make better lighting and fighting techniques with your lighting. I will have Lucy train you, then Irina and Xenovia, I want you guys to be trained by Lady Phoenix. She will help you guys with sword skills. You Revel, I want you to practice healing with Rias, said Issei. Well, the girls gasp. Why, Rainier? I thought she was dead, and you hated her, said Issei while Rainier walked in and looked down. Don't worry, it wasn't her fault that she killed me. It was Kokabeel's order. She was afraid she didn't do the job, she would die, said Issei while Rainier was happy and smiles. Okay, let's start training, said Issei. Hi, said all the girls. With Koneko's training, Kuroka and Koneko was learning more powerful attacks with their ninjutsu. They started to maintain the power. Finally, the blue orbs around them started to grow, and then Koneko opened her eyes and shoots the energy balls at the cans. Koneko had earned her ninjutsu mode, and she had her cat ears and cat tail now, so she can use her ninjutsu. She has more to learn, but for right now she learned how to fight defense, so she started concentrating on her orbs, and when it's enough magic power she will release that power and throw the ninjutsu balls and explodes the trees. It's a very strong attack, and Kuroka was proud of her little sister. They took a break for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes they started to work on fighting stance and learned how to fight properly. Instead of punching, she learned how to do powerful kicks and punched at the same time. Bit faster, so she spared with Kuroka. Koneko's first move was to pick Kuroka, but she dodged all of the punches. Then Koneko did a 360 kick on her, which that knocked her down to the floor. Kuroka was impressed at Koneko's progress. She becomes 20 times strong than she used to be. She was at least at half power of Kuroka's power, but Kuroka was way strong. But Koneko was catching up to Kuroka. But then after a few days of training they kept on going with different types of training, like concentrating on her sense. So Kuroka towed her up with a blindfold, and she went to attack her, but Koneko almost had her. Bit them. Kuroka went to the right and pushed Koneko. They'd been going at it for hours. Koneko was getting better at her senses, so they moved on different trains. They tried running, they couldn't stop training. They wanted to get strong for Issei so they can protect him and themselves. So they kept on practicing more moves on fighting and ninjutsu, and more ways to gain more energy. With Rosweisss training. Rosweisss training was going good. She learned so much magic like ice, fire, and lightning from Frost. She was a good trainer, so we kept it going to reach more higher potential. Rosweisss started to fuse fire with my lighting and made an energy ball and throw it at the trees, and the ball did massive damage to the trees and the ground. It was the strongest fuse and magic. It took most of my energy. Rosweisss was panting with one leg in the ground, but then Frost gives Rosweisss some of her energy. Then Rosweisss looked up to her and said, "How did you do that? Can you teach me how to transfer magic?" Frost looked at her and said, "Sure, let's get started with that lesson then, but you need to build up more stamina, so you will run 20 miles or so since you are a Valkyrie, so start." Rosweisss did what Frost told her. She was running as far as she can. She reached the goal under 20 minuets. She tunes back to Frost. She was impressed that Rosweisss actually made it in time. No one have done that under 20 minuets, so she was proud of how Rosweisss progressed from her training. She became stronger than me, thought Frost. Well, we should start doing more training like hand-to-combat and defense, so shall we start, said Frost. Let's do this, said Rosweisss. So they kept training at that. With Akeno's training. With Akeno's training, her progress was incredible. She grown incredibly amount of power. She had grown in her training. She learned how to make a lightning sword, but Akeno didn't know how to fight with swords, so Lucy decided to teach her how to fight with a sword that Akeno created, but no one ever knew, even Akeno. didn't know that she have a sacred gear, but she and Lucy found out that she had a sacred gear. Akeno's sacred gear was called the Lighting Dragon Slayer. Lucy called Issei here and told him that Akeno had a sacred gear. Issei said that to change her training and make Akeno start focusing and concentrate on how to talk with that dragon inside her said. Issei said to Lucy. So Lucy started to train Akeno how to connect with her dragon. With Ravel and Rainier's training. With Rainier and Ravel's training was good, their progress was good, they learned how to heal faster, and Rainier got a sacred gear that can heal and learned how to control fire, so Rainier gotten a little bit stronger with her training, and Ravel had a sacred gear that was the Black Dragon. Ravel learned how to talk with her dragon and learned how to shoot magic far away. She's not a hand-to-hand combat fighter, she can only shoot dragon and magic out of her gun. With Xenovia and Irina and Xenovia both have sacred gears. They learned that Issei was the one that gives their whole group sacred gears, well, not all but a few of us. Xenovia's sacred gear was the Blue Dragon King. She learned to talk with her dragon and learned how to use her sword better and learned different techniques to fight. Irina's saved gear was the Light Dragon God. She was training with her sacred gear, and she unlocked her sword that was sealed within the sacred gear. With Issei, I'm proud of them, all of them. I haven't told them the truth about my other sacred gear, even no one knows about my sacred gear. It was called the Apocalypse Dragon. It was the strongest dragon there is, even Great Red can't kill him, but I was powerful with these two sacred gears. I will soon show everyone my true power, even my peerage will learn from my power. But yeah, I'm glad that I gives them those sacred gears, cause the war between us dragon slayers and god slayers will soon start battling in our war, but the war was starting soon. Chapter 5 Issei Inheritance/New Power. When my peerage was done with their training, I told them to go rest in their rooms, but they wanted to cuddle with me, but I couldn't cause Mrs. Phoenix wanted to see me, so I went down to Lady Phoenix's office. I knocked on the door, and she said to come in. I went in the office and closed the door. I seen Lady Phoenix in her chair, and I seen Riser's queen. Well, not anymore, and I seen the girl next to her with Chinese armor standing next to Lady Phoenix. So Issei, we need to finally have this tall, said Lady Phoenix. What do you mean, said Issei nervously. I mean, when you defeated Riser, he built his peerage and his stuff, so since you are marrying Ravel and already have a peerage, I'm letting you have 2 members in your peerage, and you can choose 2 out of Riser's peerage, said Lady Phoenix. What about the rest of the peerage, said Issei worriedly. Well, they will live normal lives and do what they want, said Lady Phoenix. Oh, but what about the other 2, the ones I choose, said Issei. Then they will work for you, fight for you, it depends on you, Issei, said Lady Phoenix. So who do you want as your peerage, said Lady Phoenix. I don't really know, said Issei sadly. Why is that, said Lady Phoenix. It's just 'cause it's not fair for the rest of them, said Issei. Don't worry about them, they are actually happy with whatever your decisions are, said Lady Phoenix. Fine, I want your Beluna and Xiaolon, said Issei. Both of them were shocked that Issei chose them too. They were happy somehow. They knew that Issei will be a good master for them. Okay, then here is your 2 paces, said Lady Phoenix, getting Issei's 2 other paces. Hey, I know that I defeated Riser and made him depressed, and I'm sorry about everything in the past, said Issei, bowed down to them. No, don't bow to us, master, said Yubeluna. You don't bow to us, we accept your apology, master, said Xiaolon. Don't call me master, please call me Issei, said Issei, smiling at them. Okay, Issei-chan, said Yubeluna. Okay, Issei-sama, said Xiaolon. Issei started to smile at them while they both blushed. Well, you should get going with your 2 new pawns, said Lady Phoenix. Yeah, thank you for these wonderful and beautiful pawns, said Issei happily while Yubeluna and Xiaolon blushes again. So master, where are we going to live, said Yubeluna. Well, you guys are living with me, and if you want you can have your own rooms, said Issei happily. Okay, said Xiaolon and Yubeluna at the same time. When they got out of the Phoenix Palace, they went back to the human world and went to my house. I explained to the rest of the girls in my peerage/harem that there are 2 new members, and they are my pawns. After their greetings, I decided to go to my office with Issei. What should I do, Igneel and Drake? But the Black Dragon is going to awaken later in the future, and also pay attention when you awaken your other sacred gear. It's one of the strongest dragons in the world. It's stronger than Great Red and Ophis, and God fears of 2, and even Chow Chow can't even kill you, even if his sacred ear can kill God and dragons, but the other sacred gear is a Dragon Slayer and also a full dragon. When you unlock the sacred gear, you should try and talk to the dragon within the sacred gear and also train to so you can be equally strong and get more power within you, said Drake sternly. T-Chex, I'm going to unlock it today, thought Issei. Also, when you unlock it, you should leave this place and go to the training ground to study your new power. You don't want to hurt your loved ones, do you, Issei, said Drake. You're right, I will get out of here first, thought Issei. Issei decided to get up from his seat and got out the office. Hopefully no one noticed me, thought Issei while he was at the door. Until he got caught. Issei, said Issei and Xenovia, looking at Issei. Oh hey, said Issei. Where are you going, Issei? Xenovia said. Well, I'm going to go out for a walk, said Issei nervously. Tell us the truth, said Issei, looking at Issei. Fine, I'm going to train, said Issei. Why weren't you going to tell all of us, said Xenovia. Well, it's because until he got cut off. The God Slayers, said Issei worriedly. No, it's not them, it's something else. I have to focus, said Issei sternly. Okay, then we will be expecting you home later. Okay, Issei, said Issei. T-Chex, guys, said Issei. You are going to give us an explanation to when you get back, said Xenovia. Okay, said Issei while he sweat dropped. When Issei got outside, he teleported to an unknown place. Skip to unknown place near the mountains in the underworld. Issei was maintaining his balance, trying to stand still and keep his mind under control to awaken his sacred gear called the Apocalypse Dragon named Bahamut. I'm trying to call out his sacred gear and have a talk with him about having his power to get stronger, thought Issei. While he kept on maintaining his balance on his 2 feet, putting in power into his right arm to summon his sacred gear. While he was doing this, purple flames started to appear on Issei. It's like a Super Saiyan that has flames around their bodies, and like Natsu Drang Neil. Then Issei blacked out while his body in the ground unconscious, while Issei's was in a black place in his head. In Issei's sacred gear. Where am I, said Issei, floating in the darkness, trying to figure out what's going on. You're inside of your sacred gear, said Drake. How are you here, asked Issei. Well, let's say that this must be important for us to be here in your new sacred gear, said Igneal. Oh, you're here too, and why haven't you been taking to me, or at least saying anything to me, said Issei, wondering what was Igneal up to. I was actually sleeping, said Igneal. Lazy dragon, said Drake. Shut up, it's not like you do not sleep at all, said Igneal. Enough, guys, we still need to figure out my new sacred gear, said Issei, being serious. Ah, so you are my new host, Issei Hayadu, said Bahamut, looking at the Igneal and Drake and Issei. Who are you? Said Issei. I'm Bahamut, the Void Dragon God. No way, that's him, said Drake, shocked. I can't believe he's still alive and still powerful, said Igneal, shocked also. What are you guys taking about? And so you're my new sacred gear, said Issei, confused. Yes, also just to let you know what those 2 dragons are talking about is that I was killed by God, but he really didn't kill me. I let him put me into a sacred gear, and the reason why I let him was because I wanted to give someone my power and let him rebuild the dragon faction, said Bahamut. So are you saying that I'm that person, said Issei. Yes, you are, and if you want my power you have to build a dragon faction for the price of my power, said Bahamut, shocking Issei and his other dragons. Can I ask you what you want to rebuild the dragon faction, said Drake. Just because I want our race to be back in the world, said Bahamut. What do you mean, said Igneal. I mean is that we have to face powerful people in the future. You mean like God Slayers, asked Issei. Yes, but Demon Slayers and King Slayers too, said Bahamut, shocking Issei and the other dragons again. But don't worry about them now, let's start training you so you can become more powerful, said Bahamut. But for how long, said Issei, getting nervous for the girls going to be alone and get mad at him. For a week, boy, and trust me, it's going to be a rough training week for you, said Bahamut, making Issei nervous. Shit, the girls are going to get mad at me, thought Issei. Out of Issei's mind. After Issei had to talk with his new sacred gear, he learned that God Slayers are not the only Slayers in the world, so he have to get ready before they start attacking, or even worse, start a war. So Issei and Bahamut have been training for a week. Issei gotten stronger by running for 7 hours, and he had to do 60 push-ups every hour while lifting rocks behind his back. He does that for 1 hour, and he also learned his new power attacks, and he learned how to Fight with a sword. Issei had to use a stick for his sword training. He gained more muscles and grown a bit taller by training for a week, and this is my last night for training, so Bahamut and the dragons told me that I'm done training and I'm ready for fighting experience later on in the future. Issei was nervous to go back home. He didn't even tell the girls that he would leave for a week and didn't know what is he going to get punished by them after he finally gave up trying to get out of this situation. He finally went to bed. The next day, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Issei decided to get up and teleported home. When he got home, the girls attacked him. What the heck, Issei, where the hell you been, said an angry Xenovia. Tell all of you, Issei, said Irina. Rosweisss, Xenovia, Koneko, Revel, Kuroka, and Rainier, and Yubeluna and Xiaolan was looking at him furiously. Okay, calm down guys, I was just training, said Issei nervously. Just for a week, Issei, you only told us for a day, and you made us worried, yelled Kuroka. Okay, I'm sorry, next time I will tell you what I'm going to do, said Issei, feeling guilty. Promise, said Irina. Yes, promise, said Issei. Skip. Issei told his whole peerage about his situation. They got worried and shocked, but Issei told him that it's okay and they will be fine, and told them that he got a new sacred gear and now he is a dragon god, so they don't have to be worried about him and the others in his peerage, cause they consider that the other peerage members are family. Issei was smiling that they treat each others as family. After that, he told them that he had to tell them something important thing that they were going to do for tomorrow. What is it, said Rosweisss. Well, tomorrow we are going to the Germery estate to get payback from them, and I also heard that Kao's brigade are going to be finally making peace for them and the factions, and I will only bring 3 cause I got other missions for the rest of you guys, said Issei. That's not the only reason you're going there, are you, said Koneko, seeing right through him. Issei sighed at this. Yes, you are right, Koneko, I'm actually going to give them a little payback, said Issei. What are you going to do to them, Issei, said Irina. I'm going to rip off Surzek's devil wings, said Issei, surprising the rest. I understand, Issei, so who are you going to bring with you and what's the job for the rest of us, Issei, said Yubeluna calmly. To answer your question, Yubeluna, I'm going to bring Kuroka and Koneko and Irina this time, so you 3 are going with me, said Issei. How about the rest of us, said Xenovia. Well, I have 3 jobs for you guys and I'm going to be choosing people to each jobs to do so. The first job will be you, Xenovia, and Revel will be going to go find me the Void Dragon Sword, and yes, it's really powerful, so if I was you should take out every guard that is protecting it, and also it's in a castle in the underworld, so if you guys are able to achieve the sword and bring it to me when I get back, you will be rewarded, and same for the other jobs, said Issei. How about the rest of us, said Rosweisss. For the second job, Rosweisss and Yubeluna, you guys will go get me one of Vitra's sacred gear. What I mean Vitra, I mean his actual sacred gear that have his soul in the sacred gear, and it's in a temple at Vale. That's your job, said Issei, making Rosweisss and Yubeluna nod at him. And now for the third job, Rainier, you and Xiaolan will go get the sacred gear called the Healing of Judgment. It's a powerful healing sacred gear, so if I was you guys should search for it in the waterfall called Gravity Falls. Go there and find the sacred gear and bring it back to us, and that's all I wanted to tell you guys. Now let's go get some rest, cause tomorrow is going to be a busy day, said Issei, making everyone going to bed. Chapter 6. Gathering More Strength, Part 1. It was time for them to get ready for the attack, or Issei called it a greeting, while he was thinking he wanted Akeno to come into his room since she wasn't in the 3 jobs that he chose for them, but Issei made a special job for Akeno, so he called her into the room. Akeno went into Issei's room and sit next to him. Afufu, what do you want, Issei, said Akeno with a loving voice. Well, I wanted to talk to you about something, said Issei, and kisses Akeno in the lips while Akeno kisses back. They continued for 3 minuets, and pulled back with a string of saliva coming from their mouth and breathed. I love you, Issei, said Akeno with a loving voice. I love you too, Akeno, said Issei, giving her a huge blush while she giggled at him. So what is it that you were going to tell me, said Akeno, wondering. Well, I have a job for you, Akeno, said Issei in a loving voice and bopped her nose while making her giggle. What is the job, replied Akeno. Well, the job that I want you to do, I want you to go into Quahai and go talk to Sona and convince her to join our side, said Issei. But what about Rias and her peerage, said Akeno. I forgot to tell you yesterday with the meeting with the girls, the Chaos Brigade and the three factions are finally making peace, and I'm going to get revenge on them today so you would have no worries or people getting in your way to go talk to Sona, said Issei, making Akeno surprised, but she knew that this day was going to happen. What about the other girls, said Akeno, wondering what they are doing. Well, I'm bringing Koneko, Kuroka and Irina with me, and the others I sent them on personal jobs, said Issei, answering her questions. Okay, said Akeno. Well, you should get going, I want you to leave, said Issei, smiling at her while she smiled back. We'll be safe, Issei, said Akeno, leaving while Issei smiling. Third POV. Issei started to get up while the other girls that had jobs, they left early to go to their missions and complete the objectives. So the only people should be at the house would be Irina, Kuroka and Koneko and Issei. When Issei went up to the girls that are going with him on the mission. So you guys ready? Did you bring your masks, said Issei. And everyone nodded. Okay, put on your mask, said Issei. While they put on their mask. Issei's mask was a mask with white and cover his face and only to see his eyes are yellow. It's the Joker mask from Persona 5. And Kuroka's mask was just a panther mask. Same for Koneko. While Irina's was the same as Issei, she was wearing the Joker mask like Issei. She was blushing while thinking about it. Okay guys, we are going to leave now, and just to let you know, I don't want you guys to fight them. I will be doing the one that gets to hurt them. I will take Surzek's wings off, and after that we are going to go another place to make our base for our own faction. Like I told all of you about this faction, we will talk more when we come back after finding our faction. You guys ready? asked Issei. Hi, we are ready, said Irina, Kuroka and Koneko. After that they left with a portal to the underworld. When me and Ravel left early in the morning, we noticed that Rosweisss and Ubelina and Rainier and Xiaolan left earlier than us. I guess they were too busy on getting their jobs done, thought Xenovia. So Xenovia, do you know how are we going to the underworld? asked Ravel, getting Xenovia out of her thoughts. Yes, I know how to get to the underworld, said Xenovia while they were walking into the mountains. Then why are we climbing a mountain near Kohai, said Ravel, confused because Xenovia hadn't told her the plans on getting into the underworld and how to get to sword from the guards. Forgot to mention that Issei and his peerage live in a town called Greenside. It's a fake name or word, just go with it. The reason why is because Issei told us that on top of the mountain have a secret portal to the underworld, said Xenovia, making Ravel more confused. How come no one knows about this portal, and how did it come here, said Ravel, asking Xenovia questions. Because Issei was the one that made this portal to go to the underworld, and it can teleport us anywhere in the underworld, and also Issei put a seal in this mountain that no one, even supernatural, can't even sense this portal, answered Xenovia. Oh, that makes sense, said Ravel, finally understanding what Xenovia said. After they were done talking, they continued to go on top of the mountain while flying. After reaching to the top, they safely landed near the portal. How does the portal work? asked Ravel with a curious face. Issei told me that if someone were to enter the portal to go to the underworld, I have to say the destination and go in the portal, said Xenovia while answering Ravel's question. Okay, then let's go, said Ravel, making Xenovia nod at her while saying their destination. So are we supposed to go into the portal now? said Ravel, looking at the portal that looks like it was ready for transportation. Yap, said Xenovia, making Ravel nervous. After a while they went through the portal, arriving at Greenside. When they were teleported, they looked around them. They found themselves in a grass area, and in front of them there was a huge castle with guards inside the castle, and out Ravel and Xenovia needed to think about their plan to get inside the castle, that is basically called Greenside, and get the sword for their Issei, but they didn't know why he wants it, but they shrugged that off their minds. So what's the plan? said Ravel while Xenovia thinking for a plan. After a few minutes passed, she finally got a plan. Ravel, I got a plan, said Xenovia, getting up, and Ravel got up too. Tell me, asked Ravel. First, we have to find a way to get inside the castle without the guards' attention, and go inside the castle. When we are there, I have a map of the castle so we can find the sword and leave. And ice, we have to attack some guards, then do it. But if we have the clear, don't attract attention to us, said Xenovia, making Ravel confused a bit. Xenovia, how do we know where the sword is at? asked Ravel. Well, in this map it shows us the sword is being kept in a room underground, and also there is a leader of this castle, and he is strong according to this map that Issei gives us, so our best bet is not to get the attention of the leader or we will be in trouble. So let's get started, said Xenovia, starting to walked towards the castle while Ravel is following behind her. A few minutes later, Xenovia and Ravel made it inside the castle without getting caught. Once they were inside, they went to the right path to the sword. They had to take out some guards and hide them inside a room so that they don't get caught. While they fought some guards, they arrived at their destination. "Is this as?" said Ravel. "Yes, it is," said Xenovia. They went inside the room, and they seen the sword. Ravel said, "Is that the sword?" and Xenovia replied, "Yes, it is." After a few good minutes passed, Xenovia went to the sword and grabbed the sword. When she got the sword, they left the castle without getting caught. Once they went through the portal, they left back to their city and went back into the house and putting the sword into Issei's office and left. "So I guess we are the first one to be done with the mission," said Xenovia, making Ravel nod. "Let's go and watch some TV and eat something while we wait for the rest to come back," said Ravel, going to the kitchen and started to make food for her and Xenovia while she was watching TV in the living room. Once Ravel was done, she served herself and Xenovia her plate, and they started to eat. After they were finished eating, they went to their rooms doing their own stuff. With Rosweisss and Ybeluna. Rosweisss POV. When Rosweisss and Ybeluna in the morning they were walking to the train station to go to Vale. Once they arrived at the train station, they bought 2 tickets for the train ride. They went into their own seats. They sit there silently looking at the windows. "So Ybeluna," said Rosweisss, making her to turn around and looked at her. "What is it?" asked Ybeluna. "Well, since we have to wait for 4 hours, let's get to know each other," said Rosweisss, smiling at her. "Sure, why not?" said Ybeluna, also smiling at Rosweisss. They started to talk about their past. Ybeluna was happy that she is making a friend. She was thinking how nice Rosweisss was. She admired Rosweisss. While Rosweisss also found out that Ybeluna was a gentle, shy person and a caring person to other. After 2 hours of taking, they decided to stop taking for a bit while and became quiet. Ybeluna was reading her book that she brought with her, and Rosweisss was looking through the window. "Hey Ybeluna," said Rosweisss, calling her name while she put her book away. "What is it?" asked Ybeluna, looking at Rosweisss. "Do you have feelings for Issei?" said Rosweisss, making Ybeluna blush crimson like Rias' hair. "Why are you asking me this?" said Ybeluna, stuttering a bit. "Well, I want to know. I also have feelings for him, so as the others," said Rosweisss, blushing a bit. "To be honest, yes, I do have feelings for him ever since he chose me to be his servant," said Ybeluna, having a small blush and a smile on her face. Rosweisss was smiling at Ybeluna. "How about you? Why do you have feelings for him?" asked Ybeluna. This made Rosweisss blush. "Well, the reason why I like him is because he helped me and he was the one there for me when I was sad that no one liked me," said Rosweisss, smiling and blushing at the same time while Ybeluna was smiling at Rosweisss and happy that she is happy. "So is he having a harem?" asked Ybeluna, hoping he does, cause she wants everyone from Issei's Peerage to be happy with him. "Yes, he is," said Rosweisss, making Ybeluna smile a bit. "So Rosweisss," said Ybeluna. "Yes, what is it?" said Rosweisss. "Do you know the plan on how to get Vitra's sacred gear?" "Yes, I do. It's in a temple at Vale. It won't be hard, but we have to be careful of traps," said Rosweisss, making Ybeluna understanding the plan. After 2 more gourd of the train stopped at their destination. Rosweisss and Ybeluna got and left the station. They started to go past the small city. They asked a couple of people where to find the temple. The people told them where the location is, and they said that to be careful and told Rosweisss and Ybeluna about the incidents of people going into the temple and never come back. Rosweisss was thinking probably humans can't go in there, that's why they weren't able to come back alive, because that temple are only for supernatural beings. While Ybeluna was following Rosweisss to their destination. Once they got there, they found the opening of the temple and went inside. When they were walking, they seen secret language inside the walls of the temples. And some old vases in the temple that they should not touch. It can be lead to be a trap or something. Rosweisss and Ybeluna found a door to a room that Rosweisss thinks it's where the Vitra sacred gear is at. Once they tried to open the door, they couldn't. "Why is the door not opening?" asked Ybeluna in an irritated tone. "I don't know either," said Rosweisss, looking at the door confused. 6 minutes later. Rosweisss and Ybeluna couldn't find anything to open it until Ybeluna found something under a tile that she stepped on. "I found something, come over here," said Ybeluna, opening up the tile that shows a key with spider webs. "So that's the key to open the door?" asked Rosweisss while Ybeluna nods at her. Okay, let's try this out, said Eubelina. When Eubelina found the hole where the key is supposed to be, she put in the key inside the hole. The wall was shaking, the whole temple, the door was open. There was an old table with a sacred gear on top of the old glass protecting the gear. Rosweisss went up and opened the glass. When she opened the glass, the sacred gear started glowing. Who dares to come over here and grab my sacred gear, said the dragon. We are, answered Eubelina, standing with Rosweisss a few feet away from the table with a cautious stand to get ready if anything happens. Who are you and what do you want with me? Said the dragon in a powerful voice. Rosweisss and Eubelina was nervous and scared at the same time. They both know that Betrayal is the third strongest heavenly dragon. Rosweisss blinked. My name is Rosweisss, and over here next to me is Eubelina, and the reason why we want your sacred gear is because our Issei wants your power, said Rosweisss nervously. Why would he want my power for? Said the dragon. Well, let me tell you the whole story of what happened to him. He was betrayed by the devils and the three factions that are at peace, and the person that betrayed him the most was Rias Germery. She was the one that made Issei sad, but now he wants to be strong to get revenge, and also there are other enemies that he needs to deal with. They are a faction that is stronger than the top 15 powerful people, and he is one of the top 10 strongest person in the world. That's why he need your power, Eubelina, answered the dragon. Interesting to hear, said the dragon. So will you let him have your power? Asked Rosweisss. Sure, why not? Oh, and before we leave, my name is Betrayal, the Black Heavenly Dragon, said Betrayal. Rosweisss and Eubelina was looking at the sacred gear in amazement. Okay, it's time to leave and get to the house, said Rosweisss, making Eubelina nod while she went to get the sacred gear. When she got it, she left with Rosweisss back to the train to go home. At past 4 hours later, they got off the train and went to the house, seeing Xenovia and Ravel back. How was the mission, guys? Said Xenovia. It was good. How about yours? Did it go well? Said Rosweisss. Yes, it did, Xenovia replied back to them. Rosweisss went to Issei's office and puts the sacred gear on his desk. Now they were talking about what's going to happen in the future. When it was an hours, they went to bed. Chapter 7, Gathering More Strength, Part 2. Me and Xiaolan were walking out of the plane. There were no buildings, it was just plain grass we were walking on, and in the side were just the forest that is poison. If you walk right into the poison forest, you will simply die or lose breathe, and that ends up dying. So that's why Rainier and Xiaolan decided to walk around the forest to get to Gravity Falls. They kept on walking for 5 hours. They were exhausted of walking. They decided to make a campsite by getting wood while the others set up their tent. After that was done, Rainier and Xiaolan sat by the fire they made and ailed themselves warm through the fire. It was cold at nights where they are at. They were not used to the cold. Rainier was wearing a warm shirt. Over the shirt was her hoodie, and over her hoodie was a blanket to wear to keep warm and sleep. She also have a sleeping bag so she can sleep on, with a scarf around her neck so she can keep warm. Xiaolan was wearing 2 shirts, and over the 2 shirts she had a big jacket with fur on her with a scarf around her neck. She also wearing a blanket on top of her. After a couple minutes of keeping warm and being silent, Rainier decided to say something. Hey Xiaolan, said Rainier, calling her name. Yes, Rainier, said Xiaolan, looking at Rainier. I know that we don't talk to each other, but I would like to get to know more about you and become friends, you know, said Rainier with a small smile on her face. Same here, I would like to get to know more about each other too, said Xiaolan, smiling back at Rainier. So Xiaolan, why did you want it to be in Issei's peerage for? Asked Rainier, while giving a curious look on her face. That is kinda complicated, but I will tell you. Issei was the one who defeated mine and Eubelina ex-master, and he left, so our peerage left, and we continued to serve the Phoenix's place as maids until Lady Phoenix told us to come into her office in a week where you guys comes in the Phoenix mansion. Lady Phoenix called Issei into her office and asked him to choose 2 of our ex-master servants, and he chosen us. Me and Eubelina was shocked and bowed to Issei and thanked him, and he said to us to not call him by master or bow to him, so he told us to call him by Issei from now on, said Xiaolan, explaining her story to Rainier. Rainier smiles at this cause. She knew Issei was a nice person, but it made Rainier pissed because of Rias. That boy was the one who broke Issei's heart, but it's up to his whole peerage to make him happy, so Rainier smiled at Xiaolan. What about you, Rainier? How did you met him? Said Xiaolan, making Rainier frown at how she first met Issei. What's wrong? Said Xiaolan, looking at Rainier confused. Well, me and Issei when we first met was not a good one. I think you will hate me what I did, said Rainier, looking down. Don't worry, I won't hate you, just tell me please, I want to know how you two met, said Xiaolan. Okay then, said Rainier while sighing to herself. The first day me and him met, I asked him out on a date. And I was working with Azazel from the time, but I decided to take things on my own hands when he come for our date. I can tell that Issei was being so happy, and all at the end of the date I killed him and tried to kill Asia for her sacred gear after I killed him, but he was still alive and defeated me while Rias erased me in the world. But until Issei revived me, he had a soul from me and made a new body for me. When I was awake I was scared, but then I looked at Issei, and he told me why he revived me. He told me about the betrayal, so I was upset with myself. And then that ruined his heart. After a couple of weeks we got to know more about each other, said Rainier. She frowned and looked down. I don't hate you because you killed him. You probably were on the wrong path and decided to kill him. I understand, Rainier, but I will never hate you for that, even though we never talk to each other. But I'm here for you, me and the rest of the girls. Even Issei, he care about all of us, and he is a kind-hearted person, but after the betrayal I think we need to be there for him, said Xuelan, smiling at Rainier while she smiled back at Rainier. We should go to bed tomorrow. We have to go get the sacred gear, said Xuelan. Rainier just nodded at her, and they both went to bed. Next day. Xuelan POV. When Rainier and Xuelan got up, they packed their tent and blankets into their bags. When they finished gathering their stuff, they went back into walking around the poison forest. About 2 hours they got to Gravity Falls. It was a huge waterfall. It was beautiful. Me and Rainier admired the scenery. After a while of looking at the waterfall, we decided to go get the sacred gear for Issei. When we got inside of the waterfall, we found a cave. We used our flashlight to see inside of the cave. We looked inside of the cave. There were strange marks on the wall. It looks like a symbol of an X on it. Me and Rainier didn't know what it means, but at the end we looked at each other and decided to go inside of the cave to retrieve the sacred gear. Me and Rainier was walking through the dark place with our flashlight. It creeped Xuelan and Rayar out. It was really strange. It also sends out a weird holy and dark aura out in the air. The vibe inside of the cave was actually pretty scary feeling, but they both know that they have to achieve this sacred gear. If not, Issei would be mad, but in reality Issei would not be mad at them, but they didn't know that. So that's why they both were determined on getting the sacred gear. Xuelan and Rainier finally reached the door that Issei told them that the sacred gear would be in. The door had green shining markings in front, and the handle was glowing green. To both Rainier and Xuelan got scared of touching the knob to get into the room. I guess we both have to go in there together, so get ready if there are anything behind the doors, said Xuelan. I replied to Rainier. They both opened the door and went inside, checking to the room. All the walls was glowing green. In the middle of the room was a sacred gear on top of the concrete table. Rainier went and quickly grabbed the sacred gear and left with Xuelan. When they both got out of the cave, they went straight to the forest. They both was tired from running out, not the cave. Why did we run for? Xuelan asked Rainier. It was creepy, answered Xuelan. After a bit of resting they left and returned to the house that they lived in with the other girls. When they went in, they all welcomed them back home. Right now Rainier was taking with Rosweisss about their mission, while Xuelan went to talk to Issei and Ravel and Xenovia on how they did with their mission. Chapter 8, Germery's Side POV. It's been 2 weeks since Rias betrayed Issei and the others. But Rias didn't care. Rias knew she was just using Issei, but Rias was so upset for Xenovia and Koneko, and Akeno betrayed Rias just for that stupid perverted boy. Rias hate the thought of Issei being with her. It wants to make Rias barf, but luckily she had her Kiba. Kiba was now engaged to Rias over the days. Right now Rias was just resting in the room with Kiba, cuddling each other. I love you, Rias, and I'm so glad that we are engaged, said Kiba in loving tone. Me to Kiba, I'm so happy, and I love you to my handsome prince, said Rias, looking into Kiba's eyes. Suddenly Rias kisses Kiba in the lips. Kiba gladly returned, kissing Rias back. After a while of kissing they pulled out from their kiss to get breath. So Rias, is it true that we are going to have a meeting tomorrow, said Kiba. Yes we are, and it's about Issei, said Rias in a disgusted tone. Kiba sighed. Don't worry, Rias, you have me now, and also remember that the whole 3 factions has him in our enemy right now, said Kiba, making Rias smile. You're right, I don't have to worry about Issei and the others going after me. He's now an enemy to us, and if we ever see him, we will kill him and the others too. Even Xenovia and the other Maos will do everything to kill him if he ever comes back or tries to do anything in our way, said Rias with a happy smile. Kiba smiles back. So how's Asia, asked Kiba. She's doing good right now, she is sleeping in her room while the others are sleeping too, said Rias. That's good, they need their rest for tomorrow, it's going to be a long day. So we should go to bed, said Kiba, making Rias nod. Couple of minutes later, Kiba and Rias was cuddling while sleeping with each other. Rias rested her head on Kiba's chest. In the past week, Rias have new peerage members. She had 2 pawns that took each 4 pawn paces. And 1 other rook and a queen. The 2 pawns are Matsuda and Mathoma. They both have sacred gears. Matsuda have the Windbreaker sacred gear that can do many wind moves and attacks, also can heal with his Windbreaker sacred gear. It also have a spirit inside his sacred gear. Mathoma have a sacred gear called Shadows. The gear gives him a power that can control gravity. He can do many attacks with the sacred gear. It also have a spirit inside of Mathoma's sacred gear. And they both have Balance Breaker, but they both need to gain more stamina and more build body until they reach their Balance Breaker. Rias' queen is Lucy. Lucy used to be a fallen angel, but Azazel decided to give Lucy to become Rias' servant for a gift. Lucy can control light spears and turn them into a bow. She can do many attacks with the light bow. It's a powerful bow that a fallen angel can use. Only the high-level fallen angels can make them, but in this case Lucy is a rare low-class fallen angel that can use a powerful bow that can damage a Mao or a god. Rias' rook is Nami. She is a powerful fighter. She doesn't have a sacred gear, but she can use defense magic and can blow a powerful push or kick. Basically any fighting move she can make. She can use magic to make her fighting style more powerful. And also Rias and her peerage have to be living in the underworld until they are safe to return. Sona was still in Kwahai protecting her territory, well, both of their territory. In the morning, Rias POV. Rias was waking up from the light from the window light. Rias started to rub her eyes and started to yawn. Kiba woke up and smiled at Rias. Morning, my Rias, said Kiba with a small blush. Morning, said Rias in a cute voice. She was also blushing a bit. She had finally found her true love prince. She always dreamed of having a prince that treats her like an actual princess. We should start getting ready and go to the others in the living room, and after that we should start to head to the meeting that is held in the part of the Germery mansion, said Rias, making Kiba nod. After a bit of cuddling, Rias and Kiba went to get ready. Rias was wearing her normal Kwahai school uniforms and Kiba was wearing the male version of the Kwahai school clothes too. After they got dressed, they started to head towards the living room in part of the mansion. Rias and Kiba went into the living room. They seen Asia was in the couch talking with Nami and Lucy, while Mathoma and Matsuda was talking to each other about making a harem and become strong together. Rias and Kiba made it into the living room. They were both greeted by Rias' peerage. Morning, Rias-chan greeted Asia while standing up and bowed down, while Lucy and Nami doing the same and greeted Kiba and Rias. Mathoma and Matsuda was just saying hi to Rias and ignored Kiba, but Kiba knew that they won't do anything to Rias or try anything perverted to her. To Mathoma and Matsuda already tried it before, but Kiba beat the crap out of both of them to teach them both the lesson. Morning to you guys, to said Rias, smiling, putting her hands on her hips. Kiba was smiling also. So what's the plan, asked Matsuda, being curious of what their plans are. I'm glad you asked, Matsuda. Today we are going to a meeting with the 3 leaders of each factions to catch up on what's going to happen in the future, so I want all of you guys to be prepared and behave, said Rias, smiling a bit, and looked at Matsuda and Mathoma with a glare that made them both a bit scared. Yes, Rias, we will behave and get prepared. So what time do we have to get ready and go to the meeting, asked Lucy. Glad you asked. We have an hour to get prepared, so at 9:00 am I expect you to be at the hallway of the mansion that is outside of our small house in the mansion, and don't be late, said Rias in a more strict tone. Rias and Kiba went back to their rooms getting ready for the meeting. Rias was just putting on perfume on her and brushed her hair. Kiba was putting his colon on and also brushed his hair just to look a bit nice for the meeting. Rias and Kiba was not scared, they were just nervous for the meeting. The reason why is because they both knew that the meeting had a bunch of stuff to do about Issei and more important stuff, so they had to be cautious so that they can know about his plans, but they both knew that's not the real part of the meeting. The meeting was about something else too, and it was a truth between the 3 factions and the Chaos Brigade to perform peace for both of them and their factions, and they also had the same goals, so they decided to join each other's forces. But after the meeting they will have a party for the Chaos Brigade and the 3 factions will join together without killing each other, and the party was to release the information for all of the high-class and low-class devils and angels and the fallen angels and other people that was working by their side to know about the Chaos Brigade, and them are joining together to become a powerful force to defeat the evil and people that tries to get in their way of peace. Rias and Kiba was done. They went into the living room and cuddled a bit together while the others was in their rooms trying to get prepared for the meeting. Asia and Lucy was finished on getting ready. Asia was wearing her school uniform, same for Lucy. Matsuda and Mathama was wearing the male uniform. Same for Nami, but instead she is wearing the female uniform. Once they were all done getting ready, they went to the hall where the meeting room was at. Once they reached the place, they was in the meeting room. Rias and her peerage was standing behind the chairs and against the wall. Michael, Serafal and Xenovia and Azazel was sitting in one side of the table, while Ophis and Vala and his wild team except Kuroka sitting on the table. Rias was wondering why are the Chaos Brigade here, but she let it slide since she knew if she asked it will be having more tension into the room. Rias also noticed Sona wasn't here too, so Rias had to step up and asked her brother something. "Hey brother," asked Rias, walking towards Xenovia. "Yes," Rias said. Xenovia turning around to face Rias. "Where is Sona?" said Rias, becoming confused. "I had decided that she would stay at Kwahai to keep the place safe, and if there was an attack she would inform us," said Xenovia, answering Rias' question. "Okay," said Rias. She went back to the wall with her peerage. The meeting had started. "So the reason why we are holding up an important meeting is because we are going to join sides with Chaos Brigade," said Xenovia, telling everyone that Dos and T know, but the Chaos Brigade already knew since they were the one that wanted to join forces with the three factions. Everyone gasped except Ophis and Team Vala. "The reason why we are joining forces is because we both have the same goal, is to defeat Great Red and have peace. I know Team Vala loves to fight powerful people, so we allowed them to have sparring with each strong people in our faction," said Xenovia, looking at everyone in the table. Azazel and Michael had agreed to Xerxes' idea and proposal on making the Chaos Brigade. "So does anyone object to this offer?" said Azazel. "Me," yelled Serafal. "Why do you not agree?" asked Xerxes. "Because we don't know their real objective, and what are they going to do?" said Serafal, making Xerxes frown. "We can't blame you, but we know for a fact that they are good allies even though we've been each other's enemies. So we are going to continue this and accept their offer on joining between the three factions," said Azazel. "That's you fair," yelled Serafal. "They are the enemies here and I don't trust them, and also I don't agree to you guys banishing Issei. Hayato to you guys just betrayed him for no reason," yelled Serafal, yelling in rage and upset at the three faction on betraying Issei. "And he was our only hope, he was the Red Dragon Emperor," said Serafal. Rias and the leaders of each faction got pissed at Serafal not accepting this offer and getting mad at the mention of Issei's name. "No, what if you don't like it? Then leave. You are no longer the Mao of the Devil faction, so don't come back here or to the underworld, or we will have to kill you or put you in jail," yelled Xerxes in a pissed-off tone. Serafal decided to get up from the chair and teleport to Kwahai to get Sona, because she knew that if Sona stayed here and still be in the Devil faction, they will use her for her power. After Serafal left, the meeting had continued. Rias was happy that Serafal left. The reason why she hated Serafal was because she was Sona's sister. Rias was smirking. After a couple of minutes, the Chaos Brigade joined forces with the Choas Brigade and decided to make a party in 2 days to celebrate the new faction that will be joining them, and in the party all high-clad devils and super devils will be going to attend to the party, same for the other three factions, counting the Chaos Brigade. After the meeting was over, Rias and her peerage went back to their rooms in the mansion and went to bed since it was a long night. Chapter 9. Citrus joins sides with Issei. It had been 6 hours since Akeno left the house. She was currently taking a train to Kwahai. She was sitting near the window and thinking on how to convince Sona to join their side. Akeno have a few ways to convince Sona. She knew that Sona hated Rias, but that does not mean that she will leave the three factions, so Akeno have to convince her and tell her why she should join Issei's new faction, and also give her a proposition in the faction. Akeno talked with Issei before they left. Issei told Akeno to tell Sona that she will get her share of work if she joins. After a bit of waiting, they had finally arrived at Kwahai Station, where the train stopped at. Once the train fully stopped, Akeno got up and went to Kwahai School, where Sona was going to be at. After a couple of minutes she got in front of the school gate. She started waking inside the school and went straight to the council room where she is usually at in the night too. With Sona. Sona was in the student council room sitting in her desk with her peerage, except for some of them they were on patrol around the school. Sona was currently doing her work and started to write a letter to Rosweisss, the Devil King, to tell him that Kwahai is safe. Sona finished her writing. She put the letter in an envelope. She was going to say something to Tsubaki until a person in her peerage comes straight barging into the room. The girl that barged in was Momo. Momo was panting from running all the way here from the gate. "What's wrong?" Momo asked Sona, getting cautious around her surroundings. "It's Akeno Himeji. She is here, the one that betrayed us with the others," said Momo. After the whole student council heard of this, they gasped. Sona was gonna get a magical portal, but before she did that, Akeno was in the room. Everyone from Sona's peerage got into a fighting stance. "Hold on, I'm not here to kill you," said Akeno, getting a bit paranoid. "Then why are you here for?" said Sona, still sitting in her seat and getting ready for a fight. "'Cause Issei wanted me to talk to you," said Akeno, standing near the door of the room. "What you mean you and the others killed him and betrayed Rias and the 3 factions?" said Sona in an angry tone. "So they didn't tell Sona the truth about how Rias and the 3 faction leaders betrayed him and us," thought Akeno. "I didn't." Akeno got cut off from Seraphal that just had arrived in the room. Sona yelled Seraphal while she ran and straight to Sona, seeing if she was okay. "What are you doing and why are you here?" shouted Sona, confused of why her sister Seraphal was here. The rest of the student council was still looking at Akeno, but stopped their fighting stances since the Mao Leviathan is here. "Sona, we have to leave far away from here," said Seraphal, nervous cause she didn't know what to do right now. The 3 faction told her to leave immediately or she and Sona will be killed. Of course she and her sister can't defeat the 3 factions leaders, so she had no choice to leave with Sona, and Seraphal didn't know Akeno was there in the seat. "What, sis, can't this wait? We have someone here that is dangerous," said Sona, confused and also cautiously looking at Akeno, then back to her sister. "What do you mean someone dangerous is here?" said Seraphal, looking at Sona, confused. Sona sighed and pointed at Akeno. "Oh my god, Akeno, why are you here?" yelled Seraphal. "Oh, I'm here to ask you guys to join sides with us. Issei wanted me to get you guys to join," stated Akeno. "Sister, we can't trust her. Remember, she and the others betrayed us," said Sona to get her sister to her side. Seraphal looked at Akeno and smiled at her. She knew that Issei was with them, and she frowned that Rias told Sona a lie. "We accept your offer, Akeno-chan," said Seraphal, making Akeno smile. "What, we can't, sister, we can't betray our faction and leave. It could be a trap and they killed Issei, remember," yelled Sona, shocked at her sister that she accepted the offer. "Sona, they lied to you about Issei," said Seraphal with a sad look. "What you mean they lied about him?" said Sona, not believing what she said. Sona listened carefully. "The faction leaders and their factions wanted you to believe their lie. Issei Hayato is still alive, and the reason I accepted this offer is because the faction removed my title of a Leviathan and kicked me out, and also threatened me to not come back, and if you continue to stay in their side they will manipulate you as they already did," said Seraphal, making Sona shocked. Is this true?" Akeno asked Sona while sitting in her chair in complete shock. Akeno was still sitting on her chair and looked at Sona and nodded. "Yes, it's true. Rias and the 3 factions betrayed us and Issei. And that's why I'm here to tell you guys the truth." By Lady Seraphal already know about that, and I'm glad she accepted the offer, but you, Sona, have not accepted it yet, so will you join us and Issei's group?" asked Akeno. "But why would Issei wants us to be with him?" "I mean, we, the student council, and Seraphal never actually talk with him," said Sona, making her sister and herself frown at the thought that they never actually talk with him or paid attention to him. "Will Issei also have feelings for both of you, even if he doesn't know you guys either? But Issei told me why he wanted you guys to join, and why he wants them in his group is because he have feelings for you and Seraphal and the others, and he also told me that he wanted you guys safe," answered back, giving a small smile to Seraphal and Sona and her peerage. Sona and Seraphal blushes, and the others did too, but not as bad as Sona and Seraphal. "So do you accept our offer?" Sona asked Akeno. "Yes, of course. When will we be leaving?" asked Sona. "Right now. I don't want you guys to get caught and get attacked by some members of." Before Akeno could finish her sentence, Saji got up with an angry face. How dare you guys betray us and join sides with Issei, that idiot, yelled Saji. Everyone was caught off guard at Saji and looking at him in shock. How dare you guys go with him and join his side, you guys are idiots and a traitor, yelled Saji, getting up while his whole body was shaking in rage. Sona got upset at his comment. How dare you, Saji, I am not a traitor, the three factions and Rias have been lying to us from the start when Issei has a fake death, yelled Sona. Serafal was gonna intervene into this argument, but before she was, Tsubaki stepped in and stopped Serafal to step in the fight. I don't care, and also I already knew about this, said Saji back at Sona. Sona was shocked and pissed at the same time. Even the Peerage, but the most one that was beyond pissed was Momo. She had a huge crush for Saji, but when Saji said all that, she was beyond pissed. How dare you, Saji, you are the idiot and traitor here, you should leave and take out your evil pieces and leave now, yelled Momo, making Sona and her Peerage shocked at Momo yelling at Saji. Saji was also shocked at her, but then he looked sad and angry at the same time. He decided to use his sacred gear and rip off his evil pieces with blood all over the floor and left to the orc to tell the news about them joining sides. Serafal was shocked at this situation, but then she remembered that they have to leave now before anyone come to kill them. Guys, we got to go, remember we are still in the three factions territory. And they will come and kill us. Akeno, can you take us to Issei right now please, said Serafal, trying to get out of danger. Yes, but Issei is not here right now, he is currently finding a place for his faction can be and he have other things to do before he comes back, said Akeno, making a teleport ready to go to Issei's new place. She then teleported to the place. Once everyone teleport there, the other girls minus Kuroka, Koneko, and Irina got up into a fighting stance. Stand down guys, it's only me and Serafal and Sona and her Peerage, said Akeno, calming them down. Why are they here for anyway? I thought they betrayed us and Issei to Astravel. No, we didn't betray him. I tried to stop them, but they removed me from the faction, and same for Sona, but they have been lying to her about Issei's death, said Serafal, making everyone sad. But then Akeno said something to make the mood up. I'm going to show you guys all of your rooms and the whole house, said Akeno, making them nod. Akeno showed them the whole house and their rooms. Once Akeno showed them their rooms, they went straight to their rooms to think about what happened and what they are going to do in the future. Sona and Serafal was in Sona's room talking about what they are going to do. I think we should join Issei's faction like Akeno said. She said that he will give us an opportunity and a place in the faction, said Sona, making Serafal nod her head in agreement. Yes, I think you're right, it's the safest way, so we will join Issei's faction and help him with all of our power. After their talk, they were going to tell Akeno that they agreed to them to join their faction. Serafal left to her room and went to bed. Chapter 10, Getting Ready for the Alliance Meeting. Germery's POV. What the hell do you mean that Serafal took Sona? Damn it, I should have let Soma die, said Rosweisss, yelling and breaking the table in another meeting. Rias flinched, and same did Ajuka and Azazel and Michael. They never seen him this mad before. After a bit of calming down, the aura had slowly faded away. Thank you, Saji, for telling me this, and thank you for not betraying us, said Rosweisss with a small smile. Yes, thank you, said Rias with a smirk, while still standing up behind the chair where her older brother were sitting at with the other faction leaders and a broken table in between them. So Lord Lucifer, what should I do since I no longer am in a peerage? Said Saji, standing in front of Rosweisss' chair and bowing down to him. Please don't bow, and for what you are going to do, since Rias only have one person in her peerage, I would like you to be her rook, since you have Vitra's sacred gear and will be a good sheik and can protect my dear sister, so will you become Rias Germery's rook, said Rosweisss with a small smile, while making Rias happy. Rias was exited and happy that she got another peerage member and will continue on getting more and complete her peerage in the future. Yes, sir, it will be an honor, said Saji with a happy smile, since he will be Rias's servant, and got up from his bow. Rias, I want you to give him your rook piece for him and make him your rook, said Rosweisss, making Rias nod and come in front of Saji, and then grabbed her rook piece and then started chanting, making Saji her servant. The rest of the faction leaders smiled at them. Now let's go back to our meeting, said Rosweisss, turning around facing the other faction leaders. Saji and Rias got back behind the chair while Saji was paying attention and looking at Rias with lust, while Rias also looks at Saji with lust too. And the meeting continued. In the meeting they talked about how they are going to sit up for their party on Friday. Forgot the actual day when this will happen, so I will make it Friday. So they decided it will be happening in the Germery manor, where the Germerys have it in their state in the underworld, but in their own ballroom near their mansion. Azazel had his hand under his chin while listening to Xenovia about the setup, but he had one question for him, and he didn't know the answer to this. Xenovia, I have a couple of questions for this new party for our factions, and the Chaos Brigade joining sides thing, said Azazel while looking at Xenovia in the eyes, while Xenovia did the same. Rias and the rest of her peerage was in the back listening on this matter, while Michael was sitting in the edge of the table looking curiously what he is going to ask. Xenovia raised his right eyebrow while thinking something. I wonder what he is going to ask me, and I am still wondering on what Grafia is doing since she haven't come to this meeting. Well, I am going to have to punish her again, thought Xenovia with a straight face. Ever since he started to punish Grafia for things that she did, but he didn't care about her really, he only cares about his new wife Makoto Germery. Now back to the topic. Xenovia going to answer Azazel's question. Okay, then tell me what your questions are, Xenovia finally said. So the first is, do you know more information about Issei, and do you think that he will come after us later on in the future? I mean, he'd probably have some people that join sides with him, and it could be Fall and Sona, asked Azazel while he put his legs on top of the table. Xenovia only laughed for a bit. Sadly no, but we do not have to worry about him cause we have more people that is joining sides with us, and they are powerful to Azazel, and I do not know if the two Citries have joined him, but if that's true then it will be a bit of a problem, but I know that they will join him. I have a hunch cause Fall already have been interested in him, but do not worry, even if Issei did get stronger, but he still is the weak red dragon emperor, said Xenovia with a soft and annoyed tone. Yeah, you are right, I shouldn't have been worried, said Azazel while chuckling a bit, while the others were smiling, including Michael. Michael decided to step in and ask his question for Xenovia. So Xenovia, when we join sides with the Chaos Brigade, will we also have other factions join us, even the mythic factions? Michael said while gaining the attention to the others. Yes, actually we are having the Greeks and the Egypt factions, said Xenovia answering Michael's question. Sorry, I don't know most factions of the mythological factions, so I am going to give them names. Yes, actually we are having those factions, and we are going to have to set up everything in the palace, aka the ballroom, so we have to get the preparations ready by this Friday, said Xenovia answering another question and resting on the chair, and decided to end the meeting, and each faction leaders have left to each other's bases. With Rias and her rest of her peerage was in the orc just resting after the meeting was over. Kiba was with Rias sitting on the couch together cuddling, and they kiss each other and enjoying each other's company, while Asia was sitting on the other couch in the right in front of Rias and Kiba. Asia was sitting with Nami eating some cookies that Lucy had baked them. Lucy was also sitting next to Asia enjoying the treats. So yummy, Lucy, it's so good, you are the best baker ever, said Asia with a small smile. Nami also agreed that it was really good. That made Lucy happy. She smiled softly at Nami and Asia and hugged them both. Rias and Kiba had seen, and they also started to smile happily. I am glad they are getting along, said Rias with a soft smile, while she was resting her head in Kiba's chest. Me too, Rias, me too, said Kiba with a soft smile also. Rias then noticed that there were two missing people in the orc, so she decided to ask Kiba about it. Hey Kiba, have you seen Matsuda and Motohama? Do you know where they at? Asked Rias, wanting to know where her other pieces are at. They are probably in the orc room chilling, that's where I last seen them anyway, said Nami, sighing a bit, and pointing at the door, giving a direction to the room that Matsuda and Mothoma is at. Time skip, third POV. Xenovia had teleported into the orc and explaining them about the meeting for tomorrow with the Greeks and the Egypt faction and the Chaos Brigade that is going to meet up with us to join sides and make the devil, angels, and fallen angels and their own factions becoming one. Of course it's going to take a bit of time to do this, but they needed new allies to become stronger and deal with threats that will get in their way, so Xenovia and Azazel, including Michael, already had plans with two other faction leaders. There were many plans that each faction leader already have in progress, and their plans are to move their factions into one huge base they will have settle in the underworld that is already getting built at the moment with magic. While the other plans are pretty simple, that is finding more allies to agree and join them while finding more weapons, while having Azazel creating and upgrading sacred gears to recruit some humans and giving the other sacred gears to high class and ultimate class devils, and same for each other factions will be giving a copy of sacred gears. For the sacred gears, they are completely different from any normal ones that God have created, since they have souls inside the powerful sacred gears, but for Azazel's creation, sacred gears is way different by finding and bonding each type of element and power while bonding them into sacred gears that was created by Azazel, but his gears are not strong enough to kill gods or anything crazy, but it will be a boost for power for their army, and even get a boost for their power. Rosweisss is planning on getting Rias and her Peerage, one of the powerful element sacred gears that can do harm to gods and strong people but not enough to kill them, but if you put your power and sacred gear together in a magic attack, it can be really powerful, and even leveling up their power that can hurt a faction leader lots and end up defeating them with their strong power. After everything that happened, Rias and her Peerage went back home while each faction leaders went back to each of their bases, making last preparation of the meeting for tomorrow.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.